I want to take this opportunity to apologize to all my Nigerian brothers, both the state and the people of Nigeria, for I did not do justice when I was explaining about Nigeria must go, when I did explicitly explain everything that transpired when it comes to Ghana must go. So Nigeria must go. This is what actually happened. When history is being told, it must be told the right way. For we criticize the West for telling our history sadly for not explicitly explaining what transpired. This is what transpired in Nigeria must go. The entire Africa was one. When Kwame Nkrumah became the Prime Minister of Ghana, up to when he became president, he called on everyone who had money to come and invest in Ghana, that Ghana was open to the entire Africa and Ghana was open for business and they should come and invest. Nigerians, wealthy businessmen, were of 90% of the investors who moved to Ghana to invest. And the population of Nigerians in Ghana by then were up to 2 million Nigerians living in Ghana out of the 2.5 foreigners living in Ghana by then. But when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown by Kotoka and the rest, then came Buzia in power as prime minister. When Buzia came, he was a staunch opposition to Kwame Nkrumah. He never liked Kwame Nkrumah and the policies. When he came, the very first thing he did was to dismantle Kwame Nkrumah's policy and brought in the Alien Compliance Order. When he brought in the Alien Compliance Order, this seek to sack every foreigner in Ghana. And he knew quite well that of all the foreigners in Ghana, Nigerians were 90% of them, and they were investors and businessmen. They invested in cocoa, invested in infrastructures, invested in all sorts of business, manufacturing, transportation, you name it. So when he passed this order and he gave them a deadline to leave, the Nigerians had no option but to auction all they had, because they were suppressed by the government. And by then, Buzia passed this law that no foreigner should be engaged in. About 40 businesses he put down that no foreigner should engage in. So the Nigerians had no option but to leave. And it was a bad time in history. Nigeria had to auction their cars. Nigeria had to auction their houses. Nigeria had to auction their businesses, their farm. Most were not even able to auction their businesses. They left it. And the indigenous Ghanaians took over their businesses, their cocoa farm. They lost their lives in custody. And as a result of this, it affected, traumatized the Nigerians. Just imagine you took huge amount of business and money to invest in Ghana. And even when you are leaving, the hard cash money, the money you were supposed to take, the banks refused to give Nigerians more than 2,000 pounds. And these people had hundreds of thousands of pounds in their account in Ghana. The banks refused to give money. And these Nigerians were in huge migration crisis. So as this happened, within that period, they were auctioning things in Ghana. Life was good because Ghanaians were rushing, buying Nigerian product as cheap as possible. Everything came down. The moment a Nigerian left, life became hell for Ghanaians. The crisis Ghana faced, the hardship all the way to that of the farming period of Ghana started when Buzia passed this Alien Compliance Law. The effect on Ghana when the Nigerians moved out. Cocoa price fell, okay? And also, Ghana lost cocoa production from 50% of global production to 30% because the Nigerians were the one doing cocoa farming. The prices of goods doubled because the Nigerians were the ones who made it possible for the prices to be cheap. And when the Ghanaians were left to do businesses, they wanted to be rich as quick as possible and double the prices. And also transportation became a problem because most of the cars were owned by Nigerians. Nigerians had invested in transportation system. So this was the problem. And loss of jobs because the businesses and factories and cocoa business, the farming were operated by Nigerians who had employed people. These people had left and jobs were lost. Okay, businesses collapsed. Ghana was in disarray. This was the start of Ghana problem that finally led to Ghana having famine. We would come to that for a latter part. What was the negative effect on Nigeria? Nigerians died. Yes, people who were in detention because the government held lots of Nigerians, and so some of them died in detention. What again? Nigerians lost houses, lost cars, lost businesses, money. The banks could not allow Nigerians to take more than 2,000 pounds from the bank because they didn't want this money to go. And these Nigerians had hundreds of thousands of pounds in their banks in Ghana. So this was a disaster. This was a problem. Some, when the Nigerians returned, some were hoping to see back their loved one, but they had only to be greeted by the news that
I've never heard this history before, that it was actually Ghana that all this you must go started. When they actually knew that it was Nigeria that controlling 19% of the economy out of jealousy or what? Yes, it was jealousy that the prime minister that succeeded Kwame Nkrumah in the name of Buzia came in and sent all foreigners out of their land when he knew that 90% of the economy was drawn by the world, by Nigerians. But he sent, Nigerians out of their land. And now the economy did what? Crashed. And all the Ghanaians rushed to Nigeria. Then in 1983, when the burden was so much in Nigeria, they had to send them back as Ghana must go. That was the name, Ghana must go. And now Ghanaians, they refuse to look at history. They now started again. Anyway, thank God that a lot of them are coming to realize their mistake and coming out to speak the truth. You are going to hear a lot of them speaking the truth of actually what is happening. Even this king, that king, that king Ihetu, that they are saying that he must leave their land. He has a lot of companies and employ a lot of Ghanaians and even supply medical equipment almost free to Ghanaian hospitals. And even some of their women delivering free through this king that they say that he has to leave their land. Did you see why in life greed is very bad? Wickedness is not good. But thank God that, just like I always say, we want peace in Africa. Africa need peace for us to develop so that the West will stop laughing at us. Thank God Ghanaians, as they have woken up and start speaking out the truth. Please, let's finish up the clip. There's a lot of engagement in this clip. Let's finish it up and let me know what you think in the comment section. Please do wait to like, share, and subscribe. If today is your first time of coming across my video, thank you so much as you do that. Let's continue and finish up.
they had died in Ghana. This was a bad thing. Alien compliance law was what led to Ghana to fall in those periods until in the year 1985 when J.J. Rawlings went to Babangida to renew relations with Nigeria. That was when Ghana and Nigeria saw peace. Within this period, there was nothing like peace. So J.J. Rawlings moved to Babangida to make peace. But even when J.J. Rawlings moved to Nigeria, things were worse. Things were terrible for Ghana. Not until when President Kufuor became president of Ghana, year 2001, Kufuor moved to Nigeria, went to Nigeria and pleaded to the then president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, in the words of President Kufuor, not me, that Obasanjo is a gift to the African continent. Why did President Kufuor say this? Because when the economy of Ghana was in shambles, Ghana went hippie, meaning there was no money in Ghana. When Ghana was scattered, when the ones you call foreign donors, development partners, America, the Britain, you name it, all countries rejected Ghana. Nobody was there to come to the aid of Ghana. But Nigeria, and President Kufuor ran to Nigeria and laid down to Obasanjo. He didn't feel Obasanjo would help to say that, okay, we will resume supply of gas to Ghana to supply electricity. When he went, Obasanjo surprised him. Obasanjo did not only ask Kufuor that they should resume gas to supply to Ghana immediately, but also push the payments to almost 4 years back and also reduce the price for Ghana. And not only that, Obasanjo actually gave 30 million United States dollars to Ghana to buy cars for the police. I know that money was rejected by Obasanjo in Nigeria because Nigerians were blasting him as the president of Nigeria, but it is true. He helped Ghana. He assembled investors to come to Ghana to invest in Ghana. That is how come the infrastructure of Ghana today, housing, is at its peak. They're one of the best in Africa because the Nigerians came with their wealth, with their money to invest in Ghana. And Ghana is where it is today. And I will tell you, Nigeria has done a lot for Ghana. This I know most Nigerians don't know. That is how come President Kufuor, who ended saying that Obasanjo is a gift to Africa, named from 37 roundabouts, 37 to that of Achimota Forest as Obasanjo Highway in Ghana. This is as a result of the tremendous effort and help, aid from the people of Nigeria, from the government of Nigeria to Ghana to help boost Ghana's economy. This is history. We must not shy away from it. There is so much between Nigeria and Ghana. Why we must put asunder our fight? Why we must put asunder blaming one another? Let me tell you, one of the reasons is Nigeria and Ghana started fighting for AU together with Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone brought this fire to Nigeria, brought it to Ghana, boiled Nigerians and Ghanaians, Nkrumah inclusive. The idea Wallace Johnson and the rest, that you should fight for your independence and let's form Africa Union, which is by then it was Organization of Africa Unity. Nkrumah championed it in Nigeria, but the white man skillfully came to Nigeria and told them, do not allow Ghana to head AU. And they went to Ghana and told them, do not allow Nigeria to head AU. The reason being is they knew these two countries were a powerhouse in Africa. Nigeria had immense wealth, so also is Ghana. If these two countries could blend their wealth together, I'm telling you, there is no way Ghana and Nigeria combined would not be able to give aid to other African countries.
After watching this video, you cannot know that Ghana and Nigeria, if they team up together, they can make a great Africa. Because when they fight for the African unity, the Western world told Nigeria that don't allow Ghana to be the president of the Africa Unity Organization. The same thing they came again to tell Ghana to not allow Nigeria to be the president of the Africa Unity Organization. That is to let you know that Ghana and Nigeria is strong enough to change colonization in Africa. Please unite so that we can able to fight this fight to be the president of the Africa Unity Organization. That is to let you know that Ghana and Nigeria is strong enough to change colonization in Africa. Please unite so that we can able to fight this fight together.
I made a video concerning the Igbo king. Now, I spoke on a couple of reasons why it's going to be very hard for this country to get rid of him. People didn't understand, but today I'm coming out with different facts to make you understand, say, and yes, it's going to be very hard to get rid of him. He is the CEO of Chibet Group of Companies. Chibet Group of Companies. CEO NSI Igbo King now. That's Igbo King. He is the CEO of Chibet Group of Companies. I'm going to list all the companies under Chibet Group of Companies. Now, how he has actually contributed to this economy, the number of people he has employed, the number of companies he supplied to, the number of institutions that depends on him to work, to run smoothly. Number one, Chibet Limited. That's general trading. They do goods, import and export, or distribution of goods and various supply domestic, stuff. What's I say? In domestic markets and neighboring countries. Okay. Now we come to Tibet Transport Limited. Freight, shipping. Luggage transport. Right? Import and export of essential goods. They are just here and they are doing nothing. I'm sorry, they are doing something. Let's go to the next one. Chibet Mother Care Limited. Okay, baby and mama products. Diapers, wipes, shampoo, lotions. Retail. They supply to Ghana Health Service. TMA. They supply to Ghana Health Service, Ministry of Health, and other companies. Currently, Brande and Chestnut, they do those supplies for Ghana. Ghana depends on them to run smoothly. Listen to me very well. I'm trying to make you understand. Senior, it's a different thing altogether. Chibet Farms, they operate in farming and agro production. They supply crops, livestock for food and commercial uses in Ghana. TMU, Ghana. Chibet Aluminium, manufacture roofing, frames, and construction supplies. Ghana how? You see, sometimes it's not just about Kasano Keke. No, you should also look beyond Kasano to see what exactly this person provides. And that's why he has shielded himself very well with the connections he has and all that. Things are going on the way they want it to go on. And then there's all we do. When a problem comes, the air put blames on people. Solve a problem. Let's continue. West Coast Entertainment. Events planning, production. And then also Chibet Group of Companies. Spark West Telecommunication Infrastructures. They work with MTN, Telecel, Airtel Tigo. You don't know. You have no idea. You're just going about it and making noise. That's what's going on right now. So aside all of the things that we have said and all the fear that we have gathered into our thoughts now, the real thing is going beyond that. Behind that, how do you think, say, it's going to be possible for him to be able to get to the president and take pictures with them, big dignitaries? You think they're not making any impact in Ghana? He has employed lots of people. She bets oil and gas, West Africa, energy. They do oil and gas. Almost supply oil and gas. Or Ghana, petroleum, and different places. They are like Shell. They are like Total. They are like those people, those companies. She bets Marine Services Limited, Coastal Transport, right? That is also based in Nigeria. And they are Nigeria. Ivory Vision College, almost run education service in Ghana and outside Ghana. Into with all of these things, it should make you understand, say, getting that particular man to leave the country, say, it's very tough because he's well shielded. He has shields around him. He has shielded himself with dignitaries, big people. If it is easy, have you ever realized, say, in the history of America, a president is going head-to-head banter with a private person? Currently, Elon Musk on His Excellency Donald Trump. You saw what's going on. It's not that easy. Say Emra and Donald Trump, I'm a deporting and collapse in the business. But if you do the demonstration that is going to come out from government institutions onto the presidency, a very wild. So people are not looking at these things. They are looking lesser than that. But beyond that, there are a bunch of things that we have to consider. And yeah, easy, sir. And yes, what's in the money too. Just like I've said already. But and also in say we can't make things happen. That's dependent on the government. But so what to say? Some people have started releasing communica. Formalities. I'm trying to make you understand. Formalities. Power is in the hands of the people. African count. That's one thing I want you to understand. Power is in the hands of the people. Apart from election, IBS is as a franchise. Africa is not part of it. After elections, everything depends solely on the government. That's why I'm trying to remind you, end SARS demonstration in Nigeria. The government ordered the military to come stand on the bridge and then open fire on the people. Celebrities in Nigeria and finance bill protest in Kenya. Look at the number of people that died. Ghana, I'm reminding you. Julobi, look at the people that were arrested. You see? It tells you, say, it is all about intimidation. In Africa, when you start to think that the power is in your hand, you're going to be intimidated and it won't end well for you. And so I don't treat anybody, say, whatever thing we are doing, we should do it with much sense. If we have a demonstration to do, let's do it. We hope, say, we're going to be heard. But until then, I need you guys to understand a couple of factors that are at play right now that is going to be very hard for this particular person to lead this country.
Yes, you have heard everything. Yes, we need peace in Africa. This is all we need. Ghanaians, Nigeria, every other countries in Africa, we need peace. We need to come together, to be able to fight these West that have already sworn that we must be under their feet, that Africa will never be will never develop, that we must under their feet. Because once Africans wake up, their own is gone. Migration will change hands. They will be the one migrating to Africa and not us Africans migrating to their land. We heard what one minister in France said, that if we allow Africa to start waking up the way they are, that them in the West are doomed. That means they have to control suppressing Africa through this, their wicked leaders. Is it not better for us to fight these wicked leaders than fighting among ourselves? We innocent ones are now fighting ourselves. Please, Africans, we need to wake up because it's only peace that we need. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please do well to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.